Hi friends, Joseph Anthony here, and welcome to this 2024 Astrology Trends. I do this video once a year. Usually it's towards the end of the year for the coming year. And so I've put together a bunch of slides and lots of information on the astrology and the trends that I see happening. This is a huge year, and I'm not understating this. This is going to be a year where we will see significant changes to society. We will see significant changes to the political landscape. There's no way around this particular year. It's almost a guarantee that 2024 is going to be completely different than the last few years. And we are going to see it. And the astrology is telling me that. My intuition has been telling me that. And towards the end of the slides in this presentation, I will tell you what I'm talking about, my vision from 2009, and why this year is going to be a very important year for all of us. So without further ado, I want to get into this. I'm going to cover a lot of what I see. And again, these are trends. This is nothing written in stone, because if you understand the nature of reality, it is all possibilities. This quantum soup is filled with possibilities. And, you get enough people together, you begin to create a possibility. And so here we have some really interesting possibilities coming up this year that we need to take a close look at. Okay, so let's get started and go from there. So let's see. This year I'm calling the year of rebuilding. Now there's a reason for this, because last year, of course, I talked about how we were in the year of total breakdown, and we're basically still in the middle of that. But because this is going to be the year of rebuilding, we're rebuilding what? We're rebuilding our belief systems. We're rebuilding political landscapes. We're rebuilding how we exchange value for each other. There's going to be a total rebuilding of society beginning in 2024, and we are going to see it for those of us that could see it. The average person cannot see it, but those of us that go down the rabbit hole of truth, we begin to see what's really going on behind the scenes, and we are going to be rebuilding something. And so this is the year of rebuilding. But it's also part of this year, the year of total breakdown, which I called for in 2023. As you could just see, you could basically see that people's belief systems are breaking down. Our political landscape is basically, here in the U.S., is basically breaking down, but it's also breaking down around the world. So it's not just in the United States. And I will be covering some of the charts for the United States, because the United States is going to be smack dab in the middle of a lot of this change that I see coming in 2024. So the big news, as I'm doing this video in November of 2023, is World War III. Do I think there's going to be a third world war? I personally don't think so. I did not see that in the meditations. I did not see that, but there is a lot of conflict in the year of 2024 that absolutely could escalate skirmishes and military intervention in some way. But I don't see an entire world war occurring, where, 5 or 6 countries or 7 countries get together and want to bomb something. I don't see that. And so I could be wrong, but I'm not seeing it. So do I think there's going to be a World War III? Not likely. But there's going to be a lot of high tension in the air for sure, especially around April with the solar eclipse in Aries. I will get to that. We also know, if you've been following me for a while, that this clown over here and his minions are trying to reset the world economy. And they're going to continue to try and do it. This is the future they want. They want everyone to be digitized and controlled digitally, and do away with actual physical currency. So we got to keep an eye on this story, because this is still very important in 2024. This is a real battle between the so-called white hats and black hats. If you don't understand what this means, white hats are supposedly the good guys. The black hats are the dark ones doing all their mischievous stuff behind the scenes, controlling politicians, bankers, religions, money, all of that stuff. Okay, so the battle rages on in 2024. And so this is a trend that will absolutely continue. It's already started actually in the end of 2023. It intensified. And so, especially with the Israeli conflict going on over there, that is an operation between these factions that are going on, and the information is coming out and pouring out. And I've done videos on this. So, but 2024, this continues to be a trend. Of course, as I've said before in the past, this is the old system struggling and dying. This is Catherine Austin Fitts, one of my favorite researchers. This is an article from 2013. She saw the writing on the wall there, but this is what's actually happening, friend. The old system, the old belief systems are continuing to die off. Let's dive into the year of 2024. First, let's start off with the numerology. As you can see here, the numerology for 2024 equals an 8. Very important. This is the symbol that represents infinity. This is a strength card. I will get into all of that. This is basically what an 8th path looks like, or the number 8. Now, this is important because Uranus and Saturn are both associated with the number 8. And this is going to be very important because Uranus is absolutely going to be a major player in 2024. But let's look at some of the traits associated with an 8: power, fortune, wise, charitable, courageous, but on the opposite side, egotistical, money hungry, and depressed. 8s are, if you know anybody that's an 8, they're very determined, they're very strong, they're very proud, they can be very healthy, but they can have an ego and be a bit selfish. So we'll see some of that trend going on in 2024. This is Christine Delory. I like her numerology, and you could follow her. This is what she says here. I left the link down below if you want to follow her, or just Google it. The 8 year is a time to develop personal power. It is a journey of true understanding, reward, balance, and achievement. Again, I'm coming from it from a spiritual perspective, developing personal power. We are developing this understanding of who we are. It's a journey of true understanding. And I couldn't agree with her more. We are understanding how this universe works. We are understanding how our power works. We are understanding how these institutions work and these entities that have been created. And so how we play into those. So this is part of the 8 year. This is also associated with the strength card. And as you can see here, the lion. Now, this symbol of the lion is associated with the sun also, but it's also about power and structure. So we're going to have to be strong through this year, which I do believe we will be. And notice the symbol over our head is an 8. And so this is going to be a year where we have to be strong about some of these changes. We have to realize that this is a necessity, that we have to go through this awakening, this process that we're going through, because that's what it is. It's a process of change. That's how you have to look at it. Most of the things associated with the tarot meaning are this: action, bravery, care for others, instincts, tolerance, responsibility. And you can see all the traits and characteristics here. I'm not going to go into all of this. This is going to be a long video. So if you want, just take a screenshot of this. This is the year of the dragon in Chinese astrology, and it starts on February 10th. And believe me, February is going to be a huge month. And I will cover that. I will go into some of the astrology charts as well. But the year of the dragon, very important in Chinese astrology. And here it is. The year of the dragon is said to be one of the luckiest and most prosperous, full of unprecedented opportunities. It is also a year to unleash your creativity and passion and pursue your dreams with courage and confidence, just like the number 8. You see the similarities here and the symbolism. So this could be a very interesting year with regards to finances and opportunities that come our way. Now, let's get into the astrology, because this is going to be a monumental year based on the astrology. And these are the major transits that I outlined here. Pluto is going to re-enter Aquarius, and this is going to be huge. So wherever this is in your actual birth chart, it's going to begin to light up that area. We also have in April another significant alignment here. Jupiter conjuncts Uranus in Taurus. This could have something to do with money and power. The 23rd, Jupiter sextiles Neptune, very favorable alignment. We come to some sort of realization or understanding. The same with May 25th, Jupiter enters Gemini, the sign of communication. So that's going to be very important. Jupiter trine Pluto, another big alignment that's going to take place, something to do with communication. Now in August, we have a Jupiter square Saturn, which is not exactly the most favorable. And so this could bring in a lot of tension. I will go over some of these charts. September 1st, Pluto goes retrograde back into the last degree of Capricorn. So it's really Capricorn Aquarius. Okay, because anytime we have a planet that is on the very last degree of a sign, it is very significant. It takes on the characteristics of both signs. November 19th, Pluto re-enters Aquarius and stays in Aquarius until 2043. So that's going to be significant. And December the 6th, Mars goes retrograde at the end of the year in Leo. And December 24th, again, Jupiter will square Saturn. So take a screenshot of this. These are some of the most significant dates that we're going to keep an eye on things. But I also have a couple of more slides here of dates to keep an eye on and watch. So let's get into some of this stuff, okay? The eclipses this year, March the 25th. Very important, watching March and April. There are significant events taking place in March and April. Lunar eclipse in Libra, which usually brings to light partnerships, relationships of all kinds. It could have something to do with relationships, between countries and organizations. But this is the biggest one of the year right here. This total solar eclipse in Aries, which is highly explosive, very powerful, major energy around here. So between March and April, towards the end of March into April, significant energy is building up astrologically here, and I will go into the chart for that. Later on in the year, we have the other set of eclipses, September 17th, a partial lunar eclipse in Pisces. This could have a lot to do with spiritual beliefs and understanding and people turning to religion and hope. But it's a lunar eclipse, which is, again, bringing something to light. Could have something to do with water as well, but we'll see. October the 2nd, solar eclipse in Libra, bridging new connections and new relationships, building new bridges in a sense. So very significant. Once again, we're looking at Aries, which is the self. Libra is about partnerships, and Pisces is spirituality. So these are the general themes of the astrology with the eclipses. Then, of course, we have the Mercury retrogrades. And of course, these are just periods that we slow down and start reflecting. Now, this is the first year in several years that we actually start off the new year with Mercury going direct, which the last couple of years we've had a Mercury retrograde that we started off with. Now, I will tell you, friends, this January 2024, we're going to jump into the energy. It's not going to be like the last 2 years or 3 years where it's been a slow start, nothing's going on. No way. January 2024, it's like full speed ahead. The energy is much more intense. And so we're going to see it right away with Mercury going direct in Sagittarius. So people are going to be buzzing, speaking, lots of politics and lots of nonsense that's going to take place around that time. April the 1st, we have Mercury turning retrograde in Aries, which is the self. Again, this April timeline looks really tumultuous and very, explosive in some way. So we're going to have to see what pans out there. It could be revelations, awarenesses. Maybe we decide to leave a marriage. Maybe we decide to leave a job. Whatever it is, it's going to be very volatile in April. August 5th, Mercury turns retrograde in Virgo. Now, this could have something to do with health matters, work matters. Our daily routine could be interrupted in some ways. And then the last one is November 25th, where Mercury goes retrograde again in Sagittarius. So we're scratching our heads, wondering what the hell's going on, what are we doing, and we're revisiting the past in some way. So these are the retrogrades. So again, take a screenshot of that if you like. Now, let's start off with the outer planets because they are very significant in astrology. When we look at Jupiter, we look at Saturn, we look at Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto. These are the ones that have more sustainability throughout the year because they move slower. And they're big energies, they're pulling on the earth. And so we've had Jupiter in Taurus since May 16th. It will continue to May the 25th. Themes around Jupiter are our values, money, beliefs. Now, this is all going to be important as soon as we start off the year because Jupiter has been in retrograde as I'm doing this video, but now on January 1st, it's in direct motion. So once again, we're starting off the new year with Jupiter in direct motion. Here's Jupiter going into Gemini on the 25th. Now, this is going to elevate things a lot more. In Gemini, it's a totally different field than in Taurus. Taurus, it's slower. It's, being more sensual and not wanting change. But Jupiter in Gemini is not like that. And these are all the key words associated with a Jupiter in Gemini. Definitely curiosity goes up, being more persuasive, more chatty, more brainy. Communication is going to go through the roof, more technical, fidgety, nervous energy, jumpy. All of this stuff is going to be highlighted in May with Jupiter entering Gemini. So this is going to be wherever this Gemini, Jupiter is going to be in your chart, it's going to elevate all of that for you guys. So it'll be all the way until June the 9th of 2025. Now, Saturn will stay in Pisces the entire year. And so it's moving in direct motion right now. And this is Pisces in Saturn. Saturn in Pisces does work well. And so we are beginning to see dissolving of the structures of government and corporations and monetary systems for more of a spiritual understanding. Pisces represents spirituality, as I see here, spiritual. It's more charitable. It can be fantasy prone, but not with Saturn. Saturn is very disciplined. So you have one sign that's very imaginative and fantasy oriented, and you have one planet that's very realistic and down to earth, and they kind of balance each other. So throughout the entire year, there's this sense of, I could do this, I'm going to make this happen, I'm going to use my imagination, I'm going to pray or meditate, and I'll make this happen. On a global scale, there is definitely a change to people's belief systems, religious beliefs, ideology, believing in government and whatever entities that they've been associated with or given their power away to. That's what Saturn represents. That's why I'm saying that. So this is going to be, Saturn is going to get entangled with Jupiter this time, a few times this year, and so it's going to be very significant. Uranus will continue to stay in Taurus. So as we begin the new year, we have Jupiter and Uranus both in Taurus, which is kind of a double whammy because this is elevating the Taurus energy. So wherever Taurus is in your birth chart, it's elevating that part of your chart. So it has to do with change in values, change in beliefs, financial change as soon as we start the year. But Uranus will go direct on the 27th of January, once again indicating to me that January is going to be a very significant month. Now, here is the big news here with that Pluto re-entering Aquarius. Okay, as I've been talking about, AI, new technology, revolution, extraterrestrials. There's going to be a lot more talk about that in the years to come. Nuclear events. I want you to pay attention to this because there's already been one event that I'm going to show you a slide on a little later on. So very important to keep an eye on this stuff. Unusual deaths. We covered all that. Space travel, dehumanizing. But Pluto in Aquarius is about humanity. Humanity is going to undergo a massive change as Pluto makes its way through Aquarius. Now, remember, this is a 20-year journey. This is not something that it just, switches into the sign and then all of a sudden, humanity is going to change. But this is a very volatile year for sure because of Pluto and because of the outer planets. And I will show you what I'm talking about. But Pluto in Aquarius is going to change people's behavior, especially youth. Especially people that are, think outside the box. We're going to see a lot of changes to society. Unfortunately, the downside to Pluto in Aquarius is a lot of people will lose their marbles. So I've been talking about that for a while as well. But it's going to revolutionize a lot of areas of life. Now, these are the dates to watch. Now, you can take a screenshot of this. There's 2 slides for this. Everything in red is pay attention time because they are major events that are taking place astrologically. As you can see here, right off the bat on the 21st, the Sun conjuncts Pluto in Aquarius because Pluto just entered Aquarius on the 20th and 21st. This is a big time frame right here. This could be anything from a massive solar flare to all kinds of uproar and disruption that take place. And this could be around the world, not just in the United States. Okay, then on the 27th, Uranus goes direct. Once again, now we have Jupiter and Uranus both in Taurus. February 5th, Mercury conjunct Pluto. This could have something to do again with electronics, electricity, people speaking their minds. But here is a really big one. On February 14th, Mars conjunct Pluto in Aquarius. This is very explosive energy, friends. There could be revelations. It could be impulse action. It could be, an event that takes place that really gets our attention. You see, same with the 17th. Could have something to do with money and partnerships. Venus conjunct Pluto in Aquarius. You could see here, this is a very volatile time right here, friends. And again, I'm not trying to sugarcoat it or scare anyone. If you understand these trends and patterns, you prepare for it psychologically, and you could actually neutralize some of this energy by saying, nope, I'm not going to let it affect me. I understand what's happening. I understand the energy's high and volatile, but I'm not going to feed into it. You see, you have the free will to do that. And that's why I point these things out, because this is exactly what I do. When I know these trends are coming and this energy is off the charts, I literally sit there and I go, wow, this is incredible energy. I'm going to do the best I can. I'm not going to feed into it, and overwhelm myself. I'll pay extra attention to what I'm doing. That's the reason for showing you these things. Now, unfortunately, not everyone has that mindset. So people tend to overreact, they get upset, they do impulsive things, and that's how we wind up with news stories about, people shooting people and all kinds of violence and wars and all this other nonsense. Now, as we go into March, again, Mars is now squaring Uranus. Again, we're looking at very volatile times. As you can see all the red there. I mean, as we begin in January, then we have February, then we have March. March is a powder keg of energy because of Mars squaring Uranus, but also because of the eclipse. Not as strong, but it's still going to be very volatile. But then we have Mercury going retrograde. But here is the big one right here. April the 8th. So I would say between February 14th and April the 8th, the energy is so volatile. It's so unpredictable. But on the positive side, it's an opportunity to change in some way. Maybe you want to move away. Maybe you want to change jobs. Maybe you want to, create a new path for yourself. It's in Aries, the sign of the self. And it's a very motivating sign. And so we're beginning the spring with this energy that's pushing us into a new direction, you see? So this is what I'm seeing here. April the 20th, Jupiter conjunct Uranus in Taurus. This could be something to do with the financial system because it's in Taurus. It could have something to do with food. It could have something to do with power structures. It could have something to do with people's belief systems and what they, could be the banks, could be money, could be corporations. Any of that stuff falls under the umbrella of this Jupiter conjunct Uranus. And we also have May the 13th, the Sun conjunct Uranus. Once again, volatile, explosive energy that comes in that we'll have to pay attention to. So again, take a screenshot of this, friends, and keep this on your wall. And as this stuff happens and occurs and you're doing some research, see how the energy is affecting you. See the people around you and how they're acting when these time frames come up. You'll see what I'm talking about. Here's the second slide. So May, Jupiter goes into Gemini. Not a big deal. Mercury conjuncts Uranus. Not such a big deal. Here's a real positive one. Jupiter trine Pluto. This could be a very important news, an event, something of great importance that we're going to be paying attention to. And so this is around that time frame. But as I put down, it's a very favorable time because Jupiter is now in Gemini and Pluto is in Aquarius. These are all about communication. But unfortunately, the second half of the year, as you can see here, they're all in red. Why? Because there, again, is very explosive, unpredictable energy with Mars conjuncting Uranus, Jupiter square Saturn, Pluto going back into Capricorn, the sign of government and restrictions and corporations, lunar eclipses in Pisces, solar eclipse. Everything here, the second half of the year, is very much unpredictable energy, high energy. It's just, everything I pick up on is just volatile. Let's put it that way. But it could be in a good way. Maybe the changes come in a positive light, like the entire U.S. government collapses and a new government is put in place. We don't know. There could be military intervention. There could be major announcements from military. Who knows? Maybe Mr. Trump makes a major announcement around these times. These are all major possibilities. All I'm doing, folks, is giving you dates to keep an eye out for, because this is what I'm seeing, the trends here. Now let's get into some slides. I've got some some charts here that I want you to look at and see what I'm seeing here. So as we begin the new year, January 1st, the sun normally goes through Capricorn. We have Mars in Sagittarius. So it's a bit of an optimistic beginning to January. Okay, Jupiter is in direct motion. Saturn is in direct motion. Pluto's in direct motion. So the energy really starts to pick up as we begin the new year. In the United States' chart, and I'm going to focus on a couple of slides for the United States because, again, the United States is going through its Pluto return, very significant. As we see here, there's definitely some events that are taking place, lots of talk with the United States or stuff going on in politics that's going to be very important as we begin the new year. But here's Jupiter, here's Uranus. These are planets that are going to start something new in this fifth house. But there's also Saturn going through the third house of communication. But there's a lot of activity here that I'm seeing. Venus will also enter the first house. So the United States, I would say in January, is squared right in the middle of some major change, either politically or with leadership. And so this could be Mr. Biden and his family. It could be political uproar in the House and Senate. Maybe there's new laws being passed. Whatever it is, it definitely involves the United States and possibly the judicial system because it's in Sagittarius. Okay, and so this is just an overview of what I'm seeing as we get started. Now, Pluto enters Aquarius on the 20th. There it is, right there, smacks right dab into the sun. So the energy now is intensified and things are starting to build up. There is definitely a lot of momentum in the first month of January, of 2024. So here we see that energy in the second house of values and income and investments. Again, look for news around banks, corporations, entities, people. By the way, Hunter Biden is an Aquarius. This could affect him. Maybe you have him in the news again. I mean, this is all part of the show that's going on. And so this is very significant energy that's coming in here that's highlighting this second house of the United States. And it is loosely squared to Jupiter at 6 degrees. So something major is occurring as this time frame approaches here. And so we may see some significant news or surprising events. Uranus goes direct on the 27th, right there. There it is in stationary position at 19 degrees. And we're going to see some activity in that department as well. Uranus going direct in the fifth house of something new, creative. And so we're going to see this. Now these two are really going to pick up speed and steam. And so, again, I'm seeing a lot of surprises and changes taking place just right here, from the 20th on into January. Now, when we go into February, this is a huge one because Mars is going to conjunct Pluto right there. These are both very volatile and explosive energy. Now, as I said earlier, we need to watch nuclear power plants, anything that's explosive, because we have 4 planets in Aquarius. Aquarius is surprising, unpredictable energy, you see. So, and there's a reason why I'm saying all this. And again, I'm going to get into some slides later, not to scare anyone, but this is also humanity uproaring, people marching, protesting, against the government, against power structures. And this could be around the world, as we've been seeing. There could be a lot more of that. Or a group of people doing destructive behavior. This is what I'm seeing here. Not just in the United States. It could be in other countries as well. Europe, the Scandinavian countries, maybe even Canada and Australia, But this is definitely going to be very heavy, intense energy. There's no way around this energy, folks. It's not like we're all going to be nice and docile and passive. No way. Not with Pluto conjunct Mars and these other 2 planets also in Aquarius. This is a very heavy. And by the way, I could see here that Venus is also going to be conjunct that Pluto in the United States' chart. So, but as we go into March, we also have this Mars square Uranus. So here's Mars at 19 degrees. There is Uranus at 19 degrees. We are looking at a powerful square. So this energy begins to intensify in the United States' chart. Notice Venus, it is conjunct the moon. So this means something to do with the homeland, something to do with major cities. This has something to do with news and information. There could be something related to water matters. Look at all the Pisces energy here. This is going to be a very unpredictable time for many. On a personal level, it's going to be like shock and awe and surprises from family members, from friends, from jobs, from economic situations. You see, this is how it works. It's not just the overview of the politics out, in the country as a whole, but also on a personal level. And so, but this, I'm gearing it towards the United States because this is where a lot of the action is going to continue this year, and it will trickle over to other nations. And here we have the lunar eclipse in March the 25th. There it is in the 10th house of the United States. And so very important, once again, 4th house, 10th house. Friends, what I'm seeing coming is there could be some protests. There could be some civil unrest, dare I say, some stuff that takes place in some of the major cities that's disruptive. Okay, I'm seeing that trend here, especially with a lunar eclipse in Libra. This could also represent, people in conflict and legal battles, legal issues in the United States. There is just a lot of volatility here in these alignments. On a personal note, the lunar eclipse in Libra could be an end to a personal relationship, a job, a situation that no longer works for you. And so this is going to highlight all types of relationships because it's in Libra. Now, this is the big one. Out of everything that goes on throughout the year, this solar eclipse on the 8th is monumental. On a personal level, it is basically saying, rise up, become more empowered. Let's start something new, because it's in Aries, especially if you're in Aries or have an Aries rising or a moon in Aries. You will be feeling supercharged and you will want to take control of your life. Now, the other thing that this is also associated with is conflict, because this is a solar eclipse in Aries. Aries is about battle. It's about, taking charge. And so this could be something to do with conflict. Now, I want you to notice the United States' chart here. It's in the 4th house. This is the home. This is the foundation. These are the cities. Notice all this energy that's built up here at 19 degrees of Aries. And we have Venus there, the North Node, Chiron, Mercury, and Mercury's in retrograde. And so we are seeing so much conflict taking place either in Washington or one of the major cities or several major cities. We may see some, protests. We may see some, fires. We may see military on the streets. This is the kind of energy that I'm seeing. And I'm not the only astrologer saying this. These are the trends and the patterns that I'm seeing, friends. And believe me, I don't get any pleasure in saying any of this. I'm pointing this out because this is the trends that I'm seeing. Again, if everyone understood the energy that's coming in and they didn't overreact and they didn't, get impulsive and get frustrated, we wouldn't have any of this stuff. But since there are going to be people that cannot stop this Aries energy, depending on their charts, they're going to act upon this energy because it's literally a powder keg of energy that's moving forward in a solar eclipse in Aries. But this is a favorable time if you want to start something new in your life on a personal level, new exercise program, new self-employment, reinventing yourself. Maybe you've ended a relationship and you're like, I'm ready for another one that is more in line with me. I'm going to move to a new city. I'm going to, start this. I'm going to start that. This is what Aries thinks about. And so this is powerful energy on a personal level to reinvent yourself. But unfortunately, at the same time, we have all this energy going on in the United States. And I'm hoping it's something new where, maybe we've already got the new currency in place. Maybe there is announcements about some of the political changes that are going to take place. And yes, it may upset some people, but maybe it's beneficial. And so we're going to see a lot of this energy building up between March and April. So this is the big one. So Jupiter conjunct Uranus also on the 20th as we go into April. Once again, very unpredictable energy right there. And this could be full of surprises as well, too. There could be more beneficial surprises, having to do with currency, having to do with power. Maybe people are being arrested or taken out in politics and in corporations. I know a lot of it's been going on the forums. Maybe there's more of that, more announcements coming out. This could be, again, very surprising stuff that is just shocking to many. Let's put it that way. The Sun conjunct Uranus on May the 13th. Once again, these are right there. See Mars. And this is in the 6th house. This could have something to do with people's work or benefits or anything to do with financial matters. I'm seeing a lot of financial stuff going on this year, friends. Banking system changes, implementing of new currencies, new ways of making payments. That could be all on the table as well, because we're talking about Taurus and Uranus, innovation and progression and moving forward. This is all on the table. Of course, the 6th house represents daily routine. We will be doing things differently around this time. And also, this could have something to do with health matters. Maybe they're changing the structure to how people are cared for. Maybe, and I don't think it's going to be that, another outbreak of some kind. I don't think it's going to be that, but, maybe there's information coming out from the past outbreaks and who was responsible for it. That kind of stuff is what I'm talking about. So it's another surprising time. So getting back to this slide, again, take note of the second half of the year. Very important, because these are major alignments that are taking place where anything is possible. Anything from something wonderful and amazing to something surprising and shocking. Okay, because when we're talking squares, we're talking conjunctions, we're talking about energy that's intensified. That's how it works. Now, let's go back to July the 15th. Here's Mars conjuncting Uranus. Here is Mars. Let's see, Mars conjuncts Uranus right there. Again, very explosive, unpredictable energy. Once again, we could be talking about food production. We could be talking about weather anomalies, land, anything to do with power structures. This could represent food plants, anything under that umbrella. Jupiter is now in Gemini, as you could see here. Uranus and Gemini are very closely aligned. So there could be unpredictability with power structures. Strange weather activities, which I will cover in a little bit. This is all on the table, friends. Okay. We also got Pluto that is now in Aquarius. And so if you notice, Aquarius looks like two little squiggly lines. That also represents electricity, lightning. That represents all kinds of power structures. This is why I'm saying this. This could be something to do with the grid going down, or certain cities maybe have power outages. On the positive side, it could be sudden awarenesses and revelations and stuff that is being brought to light in our minds. And we're being able to see the bigger picture. Lots of communication throughout the year because of Pluto and Jupiter in Gemini at this time. So there's a lot to talk about, a lot to see. Jupiter square Saturn on the 19th, another one that is very important. This is Jupiter at 17 degrees, and here is Saturn at 17 degrees. This is about communication in the 3rd house. This is about partnerships. Mars is also closely aligned to this, as you can see here. So this could be friction. This could be announcements. This could be legal matters that are taking precedence at this time. Something significant in Washington is taking place here, and this is going to be unavoidable. This could be the old system basically being dismantled in some way. And I do see that coming. So, a lot of people don't understand what's actually happening. And so this is going to be significant information that comes about around the 19th. On a personal level, it could be sudden awarenesses, again, coming to terms with something, having important communications with family members, or people that you work for, or work for you. Lots of communication that I'm seeing over here. And so this could be very important time of processing information. Now, what I want to get into now is very important, and I need to share this with you guys because many of my followers that watch these videos understand what's actually happening. If you've been watching my videos the last year or so, year or two, I've been talking about how there's a power struggle going on, and how we have all these refugees that are crossing our border here in the United States. Now, this was put out on one of the forums, and it seems like a lot of the intelligence analysts are coming forth and putting out information like this. Now, I'm not going to read this on here because it's on YouTube, but I want you to take a screenshot of this. I posted this on one of my social media platforms in November of 2023. And this is what they've been saying here, okay? These will come over the next 14 months. That goes into 2024. If this is November, into 2025. This is from a 39-year intelligence analyst. Rarely can I guarantee the intelligence. Many times just releasing it into the wild can stop a false flag or genuine attack. Remember, friends, if we are on high alert, in other words, we're paying attention to where we go. If we go to a mall and we see suspicious stuff, or we see a group of people that just something doesn't look right, we're able to act upon it, and maybe we could stop it. You understand? So again, nothing is written in stone, but with all this amount of people coming in, and there's absolutely a possibility here, according to this analyst here, but with a close to 100% confidence as possible, there will be multiple blank on the U.S. Okay? So I'm just putting it out there so we could pay more attention if you live in the United States and not feed into any of these fears, because I've just shown you the astrology is very unpredictable and volatile. Now you have the tools and the dates to pay attention to things and events. Now, what this analyst was referring to, and this is from the FBI, these are the cities that are being targeted, or cities to watch in 2024. And again, I'm not saying this to scare anyone. I'm just preparing people. No fear. Be aware of your surroundings. Pay attention to where you're going and what you see, friends. This is the key right now, okay? And so this is the last-ditch effort by the so-called dark ones or black hats to try and destroy the United States. And so we are going to see this. So please pay attention if you live in these cities or near these cities. Anything to do with infrastructures, power grids, water supplies, all of that stuff is in the mix. Now, why am I saying this? Because it's already occurred. Here is November 3rd, and there was a man rams gate and attacks guards at a nuclear power plant in South Carolina. How many of you knew about this story? Huh? And again, this is from the Gateway Pundit. And so this was a huge story that mainstream media, of course, did not report on. Or how about this one? Now, this one was all over the news, a chemical plant explosion. This was on November the 8th. Okay, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about, friends. We need to pay attention to it so we could stop it, that we could, basically participate in not making it happen. That's why I'm putting this out. It's not to scare anyone, not to be negative. It's to stop all of this nonsense if we could help it, you see? So anyway, very important to get to. But anyway, I want to get to this vision I had. And I know I've mentioned this before on several other videos, but now is the time to actually show you and tell you what I saw back in 2009. And it was like yesterday, because I remember being in the kitchen. It was about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And all of a sudden I started seeing things that made no sense to me whatsoever at that time. And I'm going to tell you what I saw. And the reason it's important is because I was shown it was going to be in this year of 2024 into 2025. And I literally saw the words 24, I saw the numbers 2024 to 2025 in that vision. And it just kept coming. And it was like for a half an hour, I kept seeing information that was just coming my way, which kind of made no sense. But now I understand why. So the vision went like this. People were standing around all over the world, staring at the sky. They were looking at something. And it was a very weird feeling. And it wasn't scary. It wasn't, people running in fear or, chaos or of any kind. It was just, people were just in awe and they were looking up. And the sense I got was that people were very curious and like they've known something and they were just paying attention to what was going on. And this is what I saw. Many crafts in the sky. And they were all over the world. It wasn't just in the United States. They were all over the world. And they were basically just flying around. And I did not get the feeling that there was attacks going on or there was weird, shit like they have on in Hollywood, killing people. No, I did not get that feeling. It was very calm and surreal. But there was something going on in the sky that brought these to light. And there was something going on with the weather, something with the atmosphere, just as you see in this picture here that was taken in Finland. This was in November of 2023. I'm doing this video in November 2023. There was events taking place in the sky that people were staring at along with the spacecraft. Okay, so this is what the vision was. And this is what I was seeing at the end of 2024 into 2025. There were major events taking place in the sky. Now, why do I bring this up? Because, as you know, if you've been following me for a while, the vision was also showing me throughout the years since 2009, I was being shown whitish blue light coming from the galactic center. And these are pulses. These are geomagnetic storms coming from the galactic center. And if you've been following my posts on social media, I've been talking about the strange weather anomaly. And one of the visions I've been having is from October 2023 to October 2024, these storms or this electromagnetic energy is going to intensify. We're shown a graph or shown an arrow going up. And so this is what I'm seeing happening in 2024 towards the second half of 2024. And so why is this important? Because they create these cosmic rays affect the atmosphere, the higher ionosphere, because the magnetic field of the Earth has actually weakened because of these waves that are coming in. It has nothing to do with man-made global warming nonsense. This is actually the atmosphere. And the reason I say this is because there's been scientific studies that other planets are going through the same thing. There's a Russian study that's very famous, and there's a couple of other countries that did studies on why the temperatures were going up on the other planets, and I've done videos on this already, and why their magnetic fields are weakening. And so this is a natural cycle that occurs. And so these cosmic rays are coming in, affecting the ionosphere and the upper atmosphere, which is in turn affecting the weather. You see, this is the biggest threat that I see to humanity, is the weather being caused by this cosmic energy, these pulses, this geomagnetic energy that's coming in. And here's a picture of some of the stuff I'm talking about. This is an actual picture of the energy being trapped in the ionosphere, and all of a sudden it starts acting up like static in the air. And this is very important to pay attention to. Not only does it affect our moods and our energy, as I've posted on social media, but here's another one. This affects also power grids. Now, this is the south of France on September 2023. This was pretty intense here, as you could see here. And so before I get to that, I want to just make mention, this is why this is so important, because if we got these electrical storms happening in just, in our atmosphere, it's supercharging the energy. Now, this is leading up to an event that I must share with you. This is David Dubyne. His YouTube channel is Adapt 2030, and I saw this. I've been following him for about a year now. He's a very good researcher, very good information. When he put out this video, I had goosebumps, because this is exactly what I saw. This is the time frame of October 22nd, 2024. And this is the Earth right there. Now, what he's basically saying in this video, and this is a long video, and he's done several videos since, so just go to his channel and put in, October 2024 event, cosmic event, or something along those lines. He's been talking about it on and off for the last few months. But here's the Earth. There is nothing protecting the Earth from the sun. And here are the four outer planets pulling on the Earth's magnetic field, on the sun's magnetic fields. Okay? Now, why is this important? Because nothing is shielding the Earth right there. And if these plasma rays keep coming in and pounding away at the sun and the Earth, and these planets right here, including Eros, which is an asteroid, still dead on with the Earth, it's pulling energy towards the Earth. Now, he even says, and I would have to agree with him, he doesn't know how this is going to affect the Earth. Is it going to be geomagnetic storms? Is it going to be intense energy that makes us tired and sleepy? Are we going to lose our minds? Are we going to have massive, electrical storms that knock out power grids? This is the kind of stuff that I'm seeing. And remember, I had this vision in 2009 before I knew any of this stuff. And here I am today, able to confirm astrologically that there is something coming towards the end of 2024 to 2025 that we really need to pay attention to. It could be the Great Awakening for all I know. You know, this energy could be really positive and it just begins to awaken people up and they become different. Or it affects the Earth's magnetic fields and changes the weather patterns. You know, growing food, taking out power grids, changing human behavior. This is all possible, friends, because everything in this universe, as you know, is energy. So here's a great website also, theplanetstoday.com. This shows you how the intensity of the planets affects the Earth and what's going on. Anytime it's lit up like this, you see this hue around the planets, that means there's some sort of powerful geomagnetic energy around them that's pulling on the Earth, on the sun. And so here's the Earth. And so in 2023, as you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4 planets pulling on the Earth, and nothing to protect the Earth from anything. You see, when Jupiter is behind the Earth, it's pulling, but most of the energy goes towards Jupiter. Or when it's nearby, as it's coming in, it pulls the energy there. But now you have all 4 of these planets that are pulling their own energy from the sun, and it's coming dead on onto the Earth. So this is going to be a very significant time in October that we don't know how it's going to pan out. Is it going to be destructive, or is it going to be beautiful and wonderful? And so we have to pay attention to this. And the key will be throughout the entire year of 2024, because of these alignments, because of the cosmic energy, is to pay attention to the weather, pay attention to human behavior. You know, when you start seeing friends and family totally lose their minds, you know something's affecting them. You see, they're reaching a point where they're snapping. And so this is going to be a key. These are the indicators of what 2024 looks like. Remember, everything is energy, and this energy is going to be intense. And David talks about this too, from October to April, that this energy is going to be very strong. He calls it the dual magnetic fields, and I cannot disagree with him, because you have this energy coming from the galactic center, which I've been saying, and he's suggesting basically the same thing or very similar, and the energy of the sun. And we have this energy just pouring and pouncing the Earth. And there's a lot of science behind this, friends. This is not just me saying this and having, visions and stuff. There are other people that are now paying attention to all this. The YouTube channel Suspicious Observer knows all this too. He puts out a lot of great information, Ben from Suspicious Observer. So there's a lot of stuff out there, and people are paying attention to it. So why is this important? Because we are made up of energy. This physical suit that we have is made up of energy that's vibrating, and it's connected to the ultimate source, which is the cosmos, or the center of the Milky Way galaxy. Everything is vibrating energy. So this is going to be very important for us to pay attention to. Now, why is it important? Because if you guys are a smart crowd, you've heard of the Carrington event. This is an event that happened in September 1859 that basically was the largest geomagnetic storm ever recorded in history. It was so powerful it knocked out all of the telegraph towers and anything that had electronic at that time associated with it. It created such a massive auroral display that it was incredible. It knocked out all the telegraph stations. This geomagnetic storm was the result of a coronal mass ejection from the sun. So imagine, if you will, all this energy coming in from the galactic center, and then we have a massive coronal mass ejection at the same time. You don't think that energy is going to knock out some power grid somewhere, or fry all the electronics that we have in our phones and computers? Friends, this is a real possibility, and I'm not saying this to scare everyone. I'm saying this, prepare, no fear, prepare, and just, do the best you can. This is the kind of energy that I'm seeing coming in, and I'm not the only one saying it. So again, it could be stuff like this, where we're all looking up because of the geomagnetic waves and storms that are coming in that are doing something to the sky. And these extraterrestrials, or these craft, maybe are trying to block it. Maybe they're intervening. I don't know. But I did not see a lot of the flashing in the sky. I just saw a weird skyline Okay, but this is a possibility, a real possibility this year, friends, going into 2025. So prepare yourself. Okay, now, I don't think there's going to be an election in 2024. And I'm not the only one saying this. A lot of the psychics and other astrologers are saying the same thing. There just seems to be a weird trend or pattern for 2024 elections. And also, this guy, the Colonel, this is Col Douglas MacGregor, on one of these shows here. I left the link down below. I don't think we'll make it to 2024 elections. I think things in Washington will implode before then. And I think he's right. It's either going to be politics and scrambling, or things just break apart. And by the way, this is at the 12:47 mark is when he starts talking. And he talks for about another 5 minutes on what he means by all this. And so this is the kind of stuff that I'm seeing. Also, our friend here, Mr. 107, he says the same thing. This post was on the 9th of November. We're not going to have a next election. He's also stating it. Now, obviously, he's an insider, and he has very deep connections. So he's another guy suggesting it. Something is going to happen. But he does see this going on here, the comeback. So there's something positive for many of you, okay, that follow this man. So anyway, the year of 2024 is a combination of 2023 and 2024. The year of total breakdown continues into 2024, where we start to rebuild our belief systems, and we start to rebuild our structures, our political landscapes. Stuff like that is what I'm seeing here. But fortunately, we're in a very strong year. It's an 8-year. It's a very strong year for change, and we have to basically have a strong will and realize what's going on in the world. Up until this point, we have been basically fooled and, lied to by institutions and our governments, our political leaders, our religious leaders. All of it has been one giant lie after another to manipulate and control humanity. And so we're beginning to see all of that. So things have to break down before they get rebuilt. And I see a combination of both happening this year. So this is what 2024 looks like. Remember, friends, there's only one Earth here. And we're all part of this giant ball, this energy, this sphere, this whatever you want to call it. Okay? We all belong to this planet. This is where we live in this 3D dimensional world. Even though we're spiritual beings, we still have this physical suit, and we're on this physical world all together. So what we must do, if we want to get through all of this, is start uniting in smaller communities. Start bringing people together and supporting each other in some way. Because that's the only way we're going to get through all of this change that we're experiencing right now. It doesn't have to be detrimental, and this, whatever happens, we'll get through it. All right? It's just our nature, because we're all connected to each other. So this is how we're going to get through the coming years, the next few years, by coming together in smaller groups and supporting each other and helping each other out. And we'll get through all of this. So the world is uniting. Thanks to technology, the world is uniting, and we're beginning to see everyone for who they are, their struggles and, what they go through in life and, how they have experienced life. The world is opening up to us. Pluto in Aquarius is transforming society, and it's giving us a broader view of humanity. So most people in this world don't want war and conflict. They don't want to battle anyone else. Those are the psychopathic leaders that have been trying to manipulate and control humanity. And so most of humanity wants to just get along and be left alone. And so we're coming into a time where we're realizing that we give away our power to old belief systems that are not even our own. And the world is awakening. So the more we come together and understand we're not each other's enemies, that we are all in this together on this planet, we'll get through whatever comes our way, friends. That's how it works. Okay, I found this slide, and it was so wonderful that I had to put it out here. We are an awakening, as I've been saying for the longest time. Awakening is not a fantasy to fulfill, a goal to achieve, or a destination to reach. It is a clear understanding of who you are and what you are not. When you crack through fleshy illusions, you will see a light that is shining within you, the true essence of yourself. Thank you, Naveen Kumar. This is wonderful, wonderful statement. You understand what reality really is. And of course, you know, friends, this is what I put out all the time, because I've come to this realization myself, and so many others as well, that we are some form of energy or spiritual entity or being in a physical suit, having the experience of being alive in this physical reality. Everything is beautiful, wonderful, light and energy. Sometimes it's destructive energy, but it's still light. But you are the one in control of that physical suit, emotions, bodies, everything else. So always remember this slide. Take a screenshot of it. Put it up on your refrigerator, on your wall. We are spiritual beings of light, no matter how you slice it. Anyway, there you have it, folks. Make it a great year. We're in for some major changes, and we signed up for all this, and we'll get through it like we always do. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on social media. I'm going to continue to do my best to show you what I'm seeing, some of the cosmic trends, and I will kind of ramp it up a little bit more with the videos. I know you guys like it, and thank you so much for those of you that share this information, and and all the emails that I get and the comments. I'm so grateful for all of you guys. I'm doing my part. You guys do your part. Continue to awaken the masses. Whoever wants to listen, great. Don't waste your time on people that don't want to listen, don't want to know what's really going on. And as I've said, it's a great awakening. We are awakening to who we really are. Anyway, make it a fabulous year, friends, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye for now.